back to Where's the Camera? The brand new episode of the Who What Now Gaming podcast for consumers by consumers, where we ask the questions: Who are you? What got you into gaming? And what type of gamer are you now? I'm your humble host, Josh Stewart, and today we've brought back an absolute fan favorite. Some of the best episodes that we've had with Welcome to Tom Talk and Tamagotchi and Tom Taru.
Yep. B&E, Tommy Boy McKittrick.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you know him. Yeah. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. It's so good to be back. I'm so glad that you had me, even though, again, just climbed through the window out of nowhere. I'm keeping track of your schedule, Josh.
Yeah,
But
well-
yeah, it's been a busy few months actually. So
Good.
It is really nice to be back. I think it's been at least a month,
It
if
has
not
been.
2.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Too long. My apologies. Got married again. That was cool.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Went on a week-long trip to Mexico. And work was
Holy
really
shit, did
busy
you?
all leading up to that. Yeah, we did a traditional honeymoon right after our non-traditional second wedding.
Yeah, I didn't know you went to Mexico. I saw the pictures. It was beautiful.
It was paradise. Even when it was rainy, it was paradise.
Oh, absolutely. I bet.
Yeah. But it was nice to be home, and now that it's cold, this is my weather. This is my element. I'm thriving.
Really?
Oh yeah. You have no idea.
Ugh, I've been hating it.
That's okay.
I've been hating it. But
Nobody's perfect.
Not in yeah. I know my faults. It's just I'm hating it because I work nights, so like I don't get the warmth of the sun. I just get the cold midnight brisk of wind and shit.
Yikes.
All the time. So
Yeah, that sounds unpleasant.
yeah, but you know what is pleasant? Forbidden West.
Oh, it sure is. The Horizon series in general. I think last time we went over all of the first game.
Yeah, we did.
And jumped to a bunch or a pinch.
Yeah, a bench.
We only brought up Silence at the end, and I feel like that's a good starting point. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned before the show that you haven't finished Forbidden West.
Not yet.
Where are you in the main story?
I'm pretty close to the end, but we're going to be completely doing a full restart because it's been a while since I've played the game.
Nice.
So we're doing a full restart, and I'm playing it on stream after we finish the next the game we're doing right now on stream. We've somebody mentioned because of my insane ADHD abilities, I will swap games because I follow the dopamine.
I hear you.
But we've only completed start to finish 2 games.
Really?
And that now is bugging me because I'm like, we've played so many games.
What were the 2 that you completed?
So the 2 that I completed was the beginning of spooky season for October. We played Until Dawn. And that was the first time I'd ever played Until Dawn, which was crazy because I didn't have I've gone so long with no spoilers. I've gone so long without having
Nice.
knowing anything about the game or how it worked or how it operated. So I played that whole thing on stream, loved it. It was fantastic. Every bit of it was amazing. And then we went from that into the brand new release. I think it dropped, what was it, October, end of October or the first week of November. But they remade Silent Hill 2.
Really?
And it was fantastic.
Wow.
It was an absolute banger.
Silent Hill 2 is a classic game, and it's a classic in that series as well.
Dude, it was so good. It truly was incredible. I loved every bit of it.
That's awesome.
I would suggest playing it, honestly.
It's updated graphics and everything.
Oh
right?
my god, it is incredible.
So I would love
they
to
completely remade the game.
I think that part of the terror from that game playing it originally was the graphics were bad enough to where it was back when your imagination really filled in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, just that pixelated nightmare fuel of a game, it was, I loved it, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, they definitely stuck to the original story. They stuck to the original enemy designs, and but obviously everything was way more updated. and so it's in like today's like PS4, PS5 graphics,
Wow.
and it's still like I because I never played Silent Hill 2. After I completed this game, I went back and looked at like all the original stuff, and I thought this is insane. Like I don't know how it reminded me of like the first Resident Evil when it came out on PS1,
Classic.
and it was yeah, and you're but it's
RE2 also a great game. They
yeah.
redid RE2, right? They remastered it or
Yeah, I
something.
think so.
Okay, that maybe I was thinking of Silent Hill 2, but
If they didn't remake it, they definitely remastered it.
man, talk about Sony classic games. Like this
Absolutely.
is well, and I Forbidden West also a
Mm-hmm.
great. I'm excited for the next installment. Uh, did I tell you that I finished Forbidden West again, and
Mm-hmm.
then I went to get the DLC, PS5 only.
Really?
Yep, it's
Oh
PS5
shit.
only, and I'm a PS4 Pro plebe.
You gotta upgrade.
I know.
It's worth it.
Well, it's for that. For I want to play Ragnarok on a PS5,
Mm.
and then Cyberpunk and Hogwarts. It's got to be Hogwarts first. It's been hard to like. I want to play through Let's Go Eevee and The Witcher 3
Mm-hmm.
before I upgrade. At least those two, and then maybe I can justify
Well,
spending some money.
if you when you finish Witcher 3, you're definitely gonna want to upgrade because they're making a Witcher 4,
Oh,
and it's being developed like right now. We've seen concept art. We've seen some of the things. There seems to be a little controversy where they're like, "Hey, Witcher's back, but Geralt's not," and you're like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, they redesigned him and they made him look,
Geralt.
yeah, they made him look a little older or something, a little
Hmm.
more weathered and stuff."
Oh,
And
you
I'm
know
like,
what?
"Oh, who cares? Like,
It'll be
it's
like
fucking Geralt,
it'll
man.
be
Move on."
Ron Perlman Hellboy
Yeah,
versus the guy that plays Hopper
right.
Hellboy.
Yeah. Yeah, is
Uh,
it the more like cinematic version of Hellboy, or are we talking more comic book version of Hellboy? And it's like, dude, get over it. It's come on.
yeah,
Like
this will
people
be
in
fun.
yeah. It's Hellboy at the end of the day. Enjoy it.
um. Oh, so where? Explain to me where it like. Do you
Oh,
remember the
right.
the last mission that you did story wise in
Nope.
Horizon? Okay,
But I do know that there was a portion in the game that I stopped progressing in the story because there were some things that I wanted to get like side quest wise. I'm a huge side quest person. So like
same.
I can't I can't justify progressing if I haven't completed all of the like something about me in games kind of like throw me off a little bit when you're playing something and you get like say you get to like the end and you've climbed the mountain and the sky is raining fire, right, and then and you know that if you just crest that hill the final boss is right there, and then you quick turn around, you go back to a town to get some like potions whatever, and you see that one npc from the beginning of the game is just like, did you find my basket of berries yet? And you're like, what in the
Sure,
shit, like,
sure didn't.
yeah, at this
I
point,
better go do that.
yeah, at
Like,
this point, I don't even care about your berries. So like, I feel like as a gamer, I have to get those side quests done
in order.
in order as
Interesting.
I do them, because like if I don't do them, then it doesn't make sense in my brain to have that quest last as long as it does to the very end of like the game.
Yeah.
At that point, why do you still care about this shit? Like the sky is raining fire, and
Right.
you're like, well, my
I better
berries,
go harvest.
right? Yeah.
Well, so it's funny that you talked about that. I have something similar, and I did it again with this game. I had the luxury of beating this game before, and so going through and
Mm-hmm.
replaying it, I knew when big things were going to change, and like I don't think a lot of missions go completely unavailable,
Sure.
but I waited right at the last mission for like so long, even though it is kind of like a chaotic world, and like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to give anything away because I don't remember. Did you get did you get all three Hephaestus, and not a Hephaestus? Hephaestus is the one that is like, it's the one that keeps changing. It's the one that
Right.
controls the corruptors,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's Poseidon. and then two others. The one is for plant life, and then the
Mm-hmm.
other is to the machine repair
Mm-hmm.
updates. Did you get all three of those?
I don't remember if I got all three of them, but I remember I got far enough in the game that it explained as to why like each of them were in existence and why they were important and why we needed to like properly get them. I know at one point, so you have to get to a certain part in the story to be able to fly. And that was like I was shooting for that. And
Okay,
so I made it. I know that I
I didn't know if
progressed
you knew
far
that or
enough.
not.
Yeah, I progressed far enough in the story to get to where I could fly. And then that's where I went back on my side quest journey because now I'm flying. I don't need to worry about trying to gallop everywhere.
Yeah,
So I just flew to all of my areas that I needed to go. And that's how I started like properly opening up the rest of the map because I didn't have to climb the the long neck things. I could just drop, yeah,
Tomex.
I could
Yeah.
just jump on top of them,
Oh man,
and then I was able to do all of the raptor races to like get that whole side quest thing under wraps and stuff. And so like
I never did that. I was going to 100% this game this time, and there are a few things that I just didn't do, and that's one of them. For some reason,
the game is huge
it
though.
is, there's so much to it,
Yeah, of
and like
course,
so many things to get, and so many things to upgrade. I
absolutely.
started doing some legendary weapon hunting before, like I stopped at the same place,
Mm-hmm.
but you are right near the end of it, like
And that's why I
end of the
said I
game.
didn't finish the game, but
Yeah.
I've played so much of the game.
So I don't want to. I'm not going to give away what happens in the last mission. Shit, we could talk about that for an hour and like what could happen next and like the implications. But uh, it's a
Well, when I'm
you
done,
did
we'll
see
come
quite
back
a
and do another
bit
one.
of the game, and so yeah, you should. And that would be a good stream too. It's man, such a good game.
Very much looking forward to streaming that game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, the
I have a lot of love for it.
one thing that I'll bring up about silence,
Yeah.
you so you did this mission. I don't know if you'll remember. It is literally the mission that you learn to fly, and then you
Mm-hmm.
drop basically an EMP bomb on Regala's forces,
Right.
and then you fly into the arena and you beat Regala.
Right.
And so that is like, it's just like such a big turning point in the game. And the only reason that you have to go there is because like it goes back to Silence not trusting you and not keeping you in the know and
Right.
just thinking that he's superior. And I love the voice, I
Yeah.
gotta admit. And like, man, uh but he annoys the shit out of me.
Oh,
The
really?
amount of stuff that he keeps from Aloy, like
Yeah.
if I think in my head canon Aloy would have punched him in the face. Just at least once. Just one good like left hook.
And it's funny you say that because I really did want to bring this one up. Uh, I don't remember if I said it in the last topic episode, but it when Forbidden West released, right? And I pre-ordered it. I was ready for it. And it had been like what 3 4 years since the first game,
Yeah.
right? And so I turn the game on, I go through, and it's like bam, I'm back in the world.
It is 1 month.
But
It takes place
it's
1 month
1 month
after the
after the
first
damn
game.
last game, so I'm like, hold on a minute, I'm like, so all of this shit just happened, but it's been like 4 years for me. And I'm like, that none of that even needed to be like, you wrote the story. You didn't have to make it 1 month. Like it's been so long. And so then you go up and you meet like when I initially went up and started like, that first area, the first mission area, whatever, you meet up with familiar characters and they're like, remember when we did this? And I go, fucking no. I don't have any recollection of that. But what drives me crazy is that in the beginning, or in the first game, Aloy is so driven and she's got this attitude, but like the good kind of attitude, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, I deserve to be here. I am everything that needs to be, who I want to be. Like I am the future of my domain kind of thing.
She's saving the
Second,
world. She's going to take
bingo.
charge, and like
Exactly.
she's the key, and she
Yep.
realizes it, and it doesn't like terrify her to the point of where she
Right.
wants to curl up into a ball. She doesn't
But
but like Beta,
yeah.
we'll bring that up later.
Mm.
But
Well, I was gonna say, but second game, full attitude change. It's been 1 month, and she's just like, I don't want to do this. I have to do this, or I don't, I don't want to. Everybody's like, you could just have a normal life, and she's like, fucking no, I can't. I like, this is something I have. It almost felt like in the beginning, like in the first game, this was like I have a purpose in life because I went the my whole life not having a purpose. And then 1 month later, it's like this whole thing is just a burden and she just has to do it. And that was like my one thing that I couldn't seem to get past.
well, so it's I'm glad that you say that. I like I looked at it in the way because of the difference in the issue in the first game versus the
Sure.
issue in the second game. Like you are saving the world. If you don't do this, the world will end.
Sure.
And there's like a timeline, and Gaia gives you like a solid, yeah, you got a couple
Do
of months, girl.
do we know that the world was going to end, or was it more of like it's
Yeah.
just going to be another restart?
No, it'll be a full on like world ending. It's the blight. It's like
Yeah.
the corruption. I forget the exact name. It's this red like you walk through it and it drains your health.
Mm-hmm.
It is getting to the point like Hephaestus, unless you capture Hephaestus and you can Gaia can hook up to like the world network. Basically, you're getting these three AI sub functions that used to be a part of Gaia, and they're going to help clean the world.
Sure.
And you can do that even if you get all three. That extends it to maybe 6 months, and she even
Right.
says that. But in the long term, the world as a whole will reach a point of no return,
Right.
and it will end. And so that's what you're preventing. It is to a point of where it's not I want to do this. It's the now I know who I am and my purpose. And literally, if I don't do this, everyone will die.
Hmm.
And so I think that is just a step up in the consequences. And it's a bigger, higher risk, higher reward. But it's not, it's a necessary risk. You need to do everything. There's a point in the game in the beginning where Aloy is pushing a lot of her alloys. Aloy Aloy is pushing a lot of her allies
Yeah.
away and trying to be like, I need to do this and only I can. Because like she has the DNA of
Well, and
Elizabeth Sobek.
I think that's what was giving me the impression that it was like it's been 1 year, like your whole, or it's been 1 month, like the whole point of the first game was like unifying everybody, like it's
It does
unity,
it
and then
does turn around. And so
it
even
definitely does, but it was just like in 1 month's time, like what happened in that 1 month that you just had a full like a whole mind change,
I looked at it
because it doesn't,
as
the first game doesn't end with her like losing hope.
no, it doesn't. And it doesn't really the second game doesn't start with her with a lack of hope. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with her finding out that like shit, this isn't all solved.
Mm-hmm.
There is still an issue at large here. And that's when she goes back to like the first mission, you go back to the spire and you take the spear out, and there's still like Silence only told you half the story, and you
Right.
basically helped him capture Hades.
Yes.
And so then the first part of the game is you go to the Daunt, and then you need to like that's like a next level training area. That's the first part of the Forbidden West. And then once you're
Sure.
out of the Daunt, the first portion is tracking down where Silence took Hades,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you learn that uh you need to capture like there's that's when you're looking for a Gaia seed, and that's when you go and get Gaia, and then you get the three subordinate functions to help the environment.
Right.
And then that last mission is you're trying to capture Hephaestus. So you did this. You go to try to capture Hephaestus, and you need to bring Gaia with you, or like the Gaia kernel or whatever.
Right.
And Gaia and Beta are captured by the Zeniths, but Tilda helps you escape. Tilda's the one Zenith that used to be with Elizabeth Sobek. Not
Yeah.
with,
Well,
but like
yeah, but associated.
Well, and so there's conversation topics, and this I will give away a little bit. They were kind of involved,
Mhm.
and like involved, like involved. I guess that's
They
what
were
they're alluding
kissing.
to, and they're girls, and they're kissing. But it like it's I don't know. It's what am I trying to say here? It's after the mission where you learn to fly. The
Mhm.
mission that you didn't do is just the best. You have all your allies, everyone except for Varl, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Oh my
it was
god,
kind of funny because it did tell me that it was like I think the reason I wanted to like definitely stop because like I knew you could fly in the game, and so I think at one point like I was
it
just
took me
taking.
completely by surprise. Did not
Oh
I?
really?
Yeah, I was so glad that I avoided that spoiler. And then when it happened, I'm like, you shitting me? And then it's funny
Yeah,
before the ending credits. It happens. It's Aloy on the Sunwing, and you're flying through the world.
yeah.
And before the last mission, I did that just to like I want to
Oh,
see it
just to
all,
see.
and I'm just like going everywhere. Oh my god, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I remember like knowing that mounts and creatures and stuff were so big in the first game. So like when the game came out, like I was like, oh, well, I definitely want to know what mounts that you can like ride. And so I looked it up. I just Googled like, like the mounts that you can ride or whatever. And then like one of the biggest ones was, being able to fly. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I was like, how do I get a hold of this? And it was like,
You have to beat most of the
yeah,
game,
that was 100%. It was just like, if you
all
want to
but
fly,
one
it was
story
like, it's the
mission. Yeah.
greatest thing ever. Get to just before you finish the game. And I go, oh, well, I guess that's my goal now.
Well, so and it's funny that you say that. I knew that going into this playthrough, and I'm glad that I didn't rush. I rushed a little bit, and it was like with the exploration. I would fast travel a lot. You can
Yeah.
fast travel for free from the campfires in this
Mm-hmm.
game because there's no like golden fast travel pack,
Yeah.
but you do
Which
still have
was
the.
awesome in the first game, but
It
it
was.
didn't. I remember trying to find it like from some vendor that I could like just dump a bunch of money into, like getting it, and it
It was
just
all
didn't
about
give it
like
to you.
it was one. It wasn't actually that expensive. You just needed one like this crafting material. I think it was like
Mm-hmm.
a fox hide or something. Anyway, Forbidden West, great game. It was, and like once you get to the portion where you can fly, basically it's worth beating. And
Yeah,
then you can still go back and do other things
yeah,
after you beat it, but like you need to see the end of the last mission. It escalates things again on a
yeah.
whole nother level, and it really kind of lures you into a third game.
And I kind of thought, excuse me, I kind of thought that that was the direction that they were going to go. Because I feel like with the first title, Zero Dawn was cool. I mean, not just like the title itself, like the name, was cool, but the DLC was like what was it? Something North or something?
Frozen the
Yeah, Frozen North or
yeah,
something. So then when they came out with this one, the Forbidden West, I'm like, okay, well, we have two other directions here. So now I'm like,
Deep South.
yeah, it's just full of gators
It's
and
Alabama.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the Florida Everglades.
it's just, hey, welcome, traveler. um,
You got a pretty mouth. You ain't from around here, are you?
everything's just like gator
Ain't you?
tails and bison or whatever. I don't know.
Bison
I don't know. I just know
in the
gators.
bison in the bayou.
Yeah, bayou bison. They're all metal. Okay, it's fine. That's how this works.
Oh yeah, and this is Horizon World, so
Yeah,
it's Snap Maws.
yeah, yeah,
That's the giant alligator robots.
yeah. It was but we have two other directions we can go, and I definitely didn't feel like they were like this is a huge game, and like the success of the first one was insane. The success of this one was incredible. Like to just end there would be probably a good call, but
They got to make a third game
like
unless the
they could
DLC,
do it.
because like I assumed
Are
for
they
some
gonna do
reason
a
that you
DLC?
would.
It's been out for like 2 years.
Well, and so it's PS5 only, so I can't even play it. Part of me almost went and just like
Oh,
watched it,
is
like
there a
watched someone.
DLC?
There is a
All
DLC.
right, well, I'll
It's
be playing that then. I didn't know that.
I forget what the DLC is called.
Deep South.
No, but I do know that there's like another real big end game boss battle that you
Sure.
have in DLC, but I don't know. It's something, and I also don't want to spoil it that much for
Yeah,
myself to where I've gone onto YouTube and
absolutely.
seen it like
Well, and I think that would
played.
be really cool too. Like
Sorry.
once you kind of like keep on trucking on and stuff, and then eventually make the upgrade to the PS5. By that time, you're gonna want to play Forbidden West again, and then you'll blast through it, and then we're gonna have it'll probably be the 95th episode of this show. We're gonna bring this whole topic up again, but it's gonna be all about the DLC.
That works out.
It's I will say one of my favorite things about the first game that I didn't feel had as much pull on me, I guess, in Forbidden West, which wasn't a disappointment. Let me be clear. I wasn't disappointed about it. I was just I was looking forward to it and it didn't happen. But in the first game, being able to go to those big ass open areas and then find those massive like behemoth like machines.
The
The
Thunderjaws,
yeah, dude, the big dudes. It would like shoot rockets and shit. Like you had
the
to go in.
flying laser beam shooters.
Yeah, you had to approach that with a plan. Like you had to
Yep.
have a game plan. Like go set your traps, set your trip wires, like, do the like the hook line things and then just go at it like an animal.
And you didn't like this as much in the second game in Forbidden
I
West.
didn't feel it as much. Like I didn't feel the pressure as much in the second game. And I don't know if it was maybe because I did a lot of the side quests. I did a lot of like the upgrading my materials and stuff. I got I remember getting the explosive javelins
Oh,
very early in the game.
spike
Like
throwers.
stupid early in the game.
Very useful.
And extremely OP sometimes, especially if you get them at like nice weak points and
Oh
you
yeah.
charge that thing and you've got it like fully upgraded,
The
like
overdraw.
explosions. Yeah.
I'm a big warrior bow, not warrior bow, hunter bow guy. I
Was
love
Hunter Bow the one?
it's the quick one.
That's the quick one. Okay.
And then the sharp shot bow is your long range. Although,
Right.
like, I'm just a bow guy in general. The sharp shot bow, you got to go for like the stealth upgrades
Yeah.
because then you take a shot from the tall grass. It like does. I think there was one that was like an ultra rare that was like an extra like 18% like stealth damage, and man, it just you use like two arrows with the sharp shot bow, and
See, that was like that's one of the one things that I definitely did in this one. I don't remember if I actually completed it for Forbidden West, but I definitely did it for Zero Dawn. Was that one of my main goals in there is for starters, I have to find the best weapons. I have to find the strongest shit, the most OP, like bonkers strong, like bows and javelins and pointy sharp
you
sticks,
want to be
like
well
anything.
equipped.
I gotta be
Yeah,
fully decked out.
Boy Scouts always be prepared.
Yeah, what I didn't like, even if the stats were better than the armor that I was wearing, if you give me an outfit with a big ass piece of metal strapped with like a piece of tether to my forehead, fuck off. I'm not wearing that shit. You kidding me? That is the dumbest shit. Like you'll have it's like got like a 15, 18, 19, 25 fucking armor, but it's like it's just a tube top, a weird metal skirt, and then you have this full-fledged like iron plate just tied to your forehead like a lunatic. And I'm
Man,
like, no, I'm not fucking wearing that stupid shit. Like, fuck
so
off. I
in
want
both,
the dark Karja shit. That was what I went for.
I think in both of these games, or at least this one, the in Forbidden West, you can turn off the headpiece, so you never see
What?
it.
Shit.
It's in your options.
Son of a. All right.
Well, and it's funny, in Forbidden West,
I've been
and I
seeing a
know,
lot of games doing that lately, by the way.
it's because you want to look at the main character.
Well, I mean, I want to get back to what you're saying, but yeah, it's 1,000%. It's because we're getting games these days where you can spend 45 minutes to like an hour and a half custom
Customization.
character, and then you'll spend like 2 fucking hours making your face and your character perfect.
So you can
And then
wear a
the
helmet
intro
forever.
is you wear a full suit of armor, and they're like, "Go for it!" Like,
Wow, thanks.
you're like, oh,
Waste of time.
so dumb.
Oh man, what was I talking about? I was the headpiece.
Yeah.
Oh, in this one, you can apply the look of a different outfit. so you can wear your highest stat armor,
Oh,
and then you can look
actually,
however you want to.
I think I did know that. I think that's probably why because
That
the
was a step
dark
up.
Karja like stuff. It was always just
It looked
so.
good.
It was so good,
I
dude.
didn't wear Karja stuff because in canon they hated the Karja. The
Yeah.
Tanakh hated the Karja, and so like I never wore Karja stuff
See, but I was the
unless I was
same
in the
way.
Daunt.
I was the same way. Only for I only changed my own mind at one point when I realized Aloy said something in this like I don't remember where on the map it is or what like the like village is called, but it's like the one machine is like super sick and dying, and like your mission is to like go like kind of like fucking help it and
Plain Song.
yeah, and you're
Plain
like
Song has the big satellite
yeah,
dishes.
and you're
And it's the tri-horn, or the it's not a grim
yeah,
horn,
yeah,
that's when it's attacking, but
right.
it's the big triceratops guy.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like to prove that you're like here to help is you go to help, this, creature, and in that mission in that area while it's surrounded by all of that like the farmland and everything,
Yeah, the
you
Utaru tribe.
yeah.
That's Zoe is your
Mhm.
she becomes an ally, and
Right.
like that's when you first meet Zoe. It's after you get hurt by that Zenith guy,
Yeah.
and you have to like recover for a couple of weeks or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's
in
another week that goes by.
I
So
do I
this is
know.
still this is a six
It's
week period of
so
these two games,
ridiculous. It's so
basically.
ridiculous. Yeah, from the moment that you like win your the
You're
whoa, what the hell was it
17.
called? Yeah.
The proving.
Yeah, when the from the moment you've won the proving to the moment you've saved the world was like 6 months. And you're like nailed it. In that time you've changed
I'm a
so much stuff.
Aloy's a minor.
But it was like it was during that mission, there was a conversation where I guess like I think if I'm remembering correctly, like Aloy was accused of still being like a what were they called, a Nord or something like that, a
Nora.
Nora, yeah, accused of being a Nora, and Aloy kind of doesn't deny it, but doesn't like she's not. She basically says like I'm not one thing. I represent what we all are, and I was like, oh shit, like that's what gives her like that's the mindset that I missed from the end of the first game, because at that point she's she's her own entire like entity, which is why in the first game like you get that privilege. You got a I don't remember what the name of the title was, but you got a title that allowed you to fucking go anywhere.
You're a seeker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're allowed to go
You're Harry
anywhere,
Potter.
which
You have to find the
basically,
golden
yeah,
snitch.
which is like why you like I that's why I justify being able to wear whoever's like clothing attire, because I'm like, oh, you're not you've been shunned your entire life. Not a single tribe wanted to accept you, and now they all seek you for guidance and protection. And you know what? At this point, fuck, I'm gonna wear whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I'll strap a fucking barrel of wine to my back and run around, pantsless. It doesn't. You can't tell me not to.
Well, so
I'm the fucking seeker.
everybody, they see her as a Nora, but she was an outcast for most of her life. She's only been in the tribe since the proving.
She's only been a Nora for like 6 months.
Yeah, and so it's in the first game she says this to Talana. Talana you meet through the Hunter's Lodge. She's
Oh, the
Karja
Hunter's Lodge is
Huntress.
so good.
That's
Those are fun.
she's your hawk and you're the thrush, where
Yeah.
it's like a master apprentice situation, master submissive situation.
Hey.
And so she brings up she calls you Aloy of the Nora,
Yeah.
and Aloy actually explains that it's most of my life I've been an outcast, and
Right.
so it's like not even like the Nora didn't want me. And so she said I should be called Aloy despite the Nora. And I like
Oh, that's right.
fucking loved that.
Yeah, I
I may have
forgot
even
about
said
that.
that in the last episode. Don't care, saying it again. Aloy despite the
I do
Nora.
remember that. Yeah.
But yeah, and like honestly, I like in Forbidden West they call you an Outlander a lot, and
Yeah.
that's fine. They don't say like, oh, the Nora Seeker, or like when you go back and they call you the Nora Anointed, and they're all like, oh, worship her,
Yeah.
praise her with great praise. That's sorry, I just finished Lord of the Rings, and that's at the end. That's what Aragorn is saying about the hobbits, and for some reason it just stuck with me. Praise them with great praise, but I Aloy fought against being a part of the Nora.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole uh drive, her purpose was to be a part of the tribe, and
Yeah.
like, she would be like, instead of being an outcast, but then she's a part of the tribe, but she's without Rost. And Rost, yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah. Ross.
the guy that I couldn't remember if it was Ross, but that's from Friends. Rost.
Yeah.
um
Ross.
And so, but then she also finds out, oh shit, gotta go save the world, and
Right.
I'm the only one. But I feel like they step it up again at the end of this one.
Mm.
Replay it, beat the last mission, and then just really contemplate like what's happening, because there's something like, I don't know if it was spoiled for you, but like the ending is, it is a perfect setup for a third game. It
I have
would
not
be
seen the ending at all.
okay. So yeah, and
I'm
like,
weirdly really good at avoiding all spoilers, and not because I intentionally do it. I think it's because like I just don't pay attention to shit that I don't want to like
you want to
look.
want to see, yeah,
Yeah,
same.
there's nothing that entices me to be like, oh, I'm getting sucked in. What's gonna happen? Like, if there's like a movie I want to watch or something, and like I really really want to see it, and I'm like scrolling through TikTok, the second I even see the similar colors, I just keep going. Yeah, like it's without absolute any hesitation, and I don't know why I do it, but
No, it's
it's
good.
kept me from getting like any spoilers like whatsoever,
Safe.
which is insane because I didn't find out until I don't know 2018 or something the major twist in BioShock, because I
Would
just
you kindly?
yeah I
Would you
just
kindly?
yeah I never because I just never I was always able to avoid all of it altogether. And
Fantastic game.
one of the games that we're definitely going to be playing at some point, Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. And the funny thing is, I haven't seen anything for the first one. I haven't watched anything for the second one. I've avoided all spoilers, and I've yet to see the show. So I am going into it fully a virgin.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
I
I'm excited.
God, you know what? The streams get recorded, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh, fuck yeah, good. Because I want to see
and
that.
I
I want
highlight them.
the first one, the first game, so good. I
Yeah,
still have yet to have anything spoiled for the second game. Haven't touched it. I would love to play that on a PS5 as well. I mean, come on, it's gonna look
brother.
so
It
good.
seems like you need to just get a PS5.
It's about that money, man.
We're in Christmas season. Black Friday just happens. Cyber Monday is no longer just a Monday. It's Cyber December.
Week, yeah.
It's like
Sales don't mean anything anymore. It's fine.
I gotta say, I don't know. I brought this up on stream. I'm just gonna completely sidetrack us here for a hot minute.
Please, it's your show.
It's
I broke in.
it's,
I watched you sleep. Sorry.
Black Friday before like early 2000s was aggressive.
Chaos,
People died.
injuries.
Hospital bills, vandalism, destroyed, like not
Did you
like
ever?
broken property,
Did
like
you ever experience it?
I I religiously would be in full lockdown.
Avoiding it.
I hated Black Friday so unbelievably much. The amount of accidents and the crazy thing. Cut to today, like today's day and age, like these last couple, like maybe 10 years,
The
maybe.
safest Black Fridays of all time.
It's stupid. I like barely anybody's out there. And before, I thought like for the last couple of like 10 years or so, I was like, oh, it's because you can just buy everything online. So, there's no need to go out and everything. And then this last year I realized, after I was trying to get some Black Friday deals, why chaos doesn't ensue anymore. And it's not that you can buy it online. Is that there are no more discounts.
Yeah. Oh,
The discounts are bullshit.
It's all trash.
Early 2000s, All right, I'm a stupid kid. I got some cash in my pocket. I want a new TV. I could get a 50-inch
For
TV
like two
for
hundred and
like,
fifty
oh
dollars.
my god, yeah, things like $1,080, and I can blast that thing through the back side of my window for $150, and it's like, boom, 90% off. You bet your sweet bippy I'm gonna go for that. Now it's like, yeah, we'll give you 3%, 5 if we're feeling generous. I'm like,
Wendy
dude, get the fuck out of here, man.
Wendy thinks that 20% is not a Black Friday deal. And
No, it's not.
I've just I'm not a big Black Friday, Cyber Monday shopper. I experienced Black Friday once in person. I was in high school. I went with a girl that I was dating at the time.
Lost my leg.
It was no, it was chaotic, but like I was spending the majority of the time. I went and bought an iPod and like something real basic, but I wanted an
Hell
iPod
yeah.
with a ton of storage.
Yeah.
And should I forget what she got, but there were a lot of people that it was just not good. It was in the underbelly of society. It would have been like either '08 or '09 that this was happening, and it
Yeah.
was the last time I would ever go Black Friday shopping.
Yeah, dude. It
Not
was
for me.
like it was always just kind of absolute like chaos. And it's like I remember people would like camp out like 3-4 days in advance just to hit like South Park made a 2-part episode.
Got yourself a shit bucket?
Yeah, dude. And it was like, but like we all remember the absolute chaos, and then just one year it
Stopped.
stopped.
Yep. I think that it slowly got less and less over a period of like 4 or 5 years, and then quarantine. And like
For
that
sure.
was, it was several months after that all started, or like, it's COVID is still around, but like
Sure.
it's people were still going. They went out Black Friday shopping,
Yeah,
but it was never the same. You
absolutely.
know, I bet it dropped. I don't want to bet money on this, but I bet it dropped 50%.
Oh, I mean,
I'm
I would
sure
see
that
it. I would
there's
say even more.
numbers, an analysis about that somewhere,
Yeah.
but I also don't care enough to look it up
And that was
and
kind of
vet
my
that source.
thing. Like it's because before I would just do my shopping like throughout the year, or like I procrastinate too like long and do my shopping like 2 weeks before, and then
Happens.
but like now I'm like, oh, I'll just gonna get ahead of things, and I'm like, where the fuck are all the deals? I'm like, you advertise Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and stuff, but then I'm like, I'm looking at things, and it was like I was trying to buy my wife a gift, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is bullshit because you have it like 15% off, but it's also like 15% more expensive
Than it was a
than it
couple of
was a
weeks ago.
couple of weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not a deal. You've just hiked the price up and then slapped a percentage on there like it's like you're doing us a favor. And I'm like, no wonder nobody wants to buy your shit,
Like
man.
it's Flex Seal.
Yeah.
Wham.
Anyway, that was my rampage thought. It just kind of
I
triggered
understand.
it.
It's cool.
It was nuts. It was so annoying. I hate Black Friday. And Cyber Monday,
There's a lot of things in society that just bug me.
Christmas.
It's
I want to be the Grinch.
I don't know. See, Christmas has been growing on me. When Wendy has turned me into a full-on Christmas spirit.
Really?
I also lean into this is a pagan holiday. This is a
It
holiday
is.
stolen from the
Well,
pagans.
it's
It wasn't stolen, it was adapted to include people. And it's
yeah,
also great timing. You need a fucking holiday right before winter starts. It's
yeah,
about to be cold and miserable.
yeah. It was big with the whole like trying to convert Norse pagans
This is a
to
video game
Christianity.
podcast. And
And
now we're going geopolitical, but
well, right, but if you've
Christmas
played
games, that was the topic.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's a pretty big part during the portion of as they're going through Sussex and Wessex. There's mention as to like conversions from the Norse pagans to Christianity, and basically the starter tactic was do it or die. And then once they realized that basically everyone is stronger than Christians, they were like, we need a new tactic. So they were like, hey, we also have a holiday during the winter. Like you celebrate, the ending of a year and the beginning of spring and harvest and love and shit. We also have one, except ours is, Jesus, and he was born, and people were like, but he was born like months ago, and they're like, shut the fuck up, like just don't tell them that. But then it became like this whole adaptation from, decorating a tree and trying to like, I don't know, do like Yuletide like what do you call it, like merges and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of like, I guess in a sense it was kind of nice for those Norse pagans who did eventually convert, because it was like a little taste of home with their traditions and shit. The only thing that I have an issue with is that just now that we're like hundreds of years later, and it's like, yeah, man, I don't feel like any of this, like we're not celebrating winter, and we're not looking forward to the beginning of spring, because science tells us that's just how this works. Like the earth is revolving, and we're just a little farther away from the sun right now, and that's okay. And so like like it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely like going off topic here, but I will say, like, with this whole, as of this recording right now, we haven't been invaded or visited by aliens. Um,
That we
but if
know
it,
of.
but if it does happen, I want to be first in line. I'm so excited, because I know two things for sure will happen. Two things. The first one is that all parties of most religions are gonna lose their fucking minds.
It's let me I want to say something really
Bring
quick.
it.
I heard something on a podcast that like it made me laugh so hard, and it was what if aliens showed up and like they were like wearing crosses, just and it was just a
It would be
joke, and
awesome.
they were doing it as like let's play, let's fuck with them,
Yeah.
let's see what they
But
do.
also, if they did come down and they
What
were
if
just
what if
like,
it was instead it was a fucking swastika, or
I
like
mean, well, then we'd probably have a lot. I'd probably be on the side of fucking murder them. You know
yeah,
what I'm
just like, oh
saying?
no, we're gonna have to fight the aliens, damn.
I think it would be the day that I'd walk out and be like, you had one fucking thing going for you, and I was on your side, and the fuck is this, man?
I trusted you.
I don't know. It'll just be pure chaos, but also I'm ready. Like, I want to do some new adventure stuff. Like,
I don't know. I
throw me in a
think that
cage. I don't care. Put me on a space couch. Like, show me your version of space reality TV shows. Like, I'll do this podcast live from your spaceship 50 billion light years away. Like, I don't care. Like, let's do this, man.
I don't know. I think that if like aliens, I think that we're just not going to be able to even. It's either it's not going to look anything like we think life looks like, or it's going to be something that we can't even contemplate.
Hmm.
And it's like they're using our universe just to like communicate with each other, and
Yeah,
like it's like a multiverse theory, and I don't know. There's so many possibilities. There's no
sure.
way I would never pretend to have an idea of what's going on.
You know what? To kind of bring it all like full circle, though, I would not be surprised if, like, I don't know, 100,000 years from now, like the way that we are heading right now as a society, and in life in general or whatever, I would not be that surprised if our society ended up something like the like Forbidden West like universe.
Oh, like we
Like we've dumbed down people so much because of fear tactics and like discrediting science because of you saw something on a Facebook or something, and so now you're an expert in the
theology.
world,
Yeah.
and so we slowly start to enter like that movie from like early 2000s, the Idiocracy. Like we're definitely slowly heading towards that direction. But what's after that? We're gonna have the few remaining super geniuses on the planet who are gonna make a shitload of robots, like Elon Musk, and he's going to create a bunch of robots, and then he's going to die, and then all the geniuses are going to get like eaten or die off somewhere else, and then we're all just going to be back to caveman world, but with robots and shit. Like I would not be. And I know it sounds dumb, and everybody's like, Josh, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, think about it. Would you be that surprised? Like, no.
I wouldn't be that surprised. I think that we will avoid something like the Horizon universe because they lost knowledge.
Well, theirs was a tragedy. Ours is stupidity.
Yes,
Like,
yeah, we're well, and so theirs was. It started with a tragedy that was caused by stupidity,
right.
and like Ted
Well,
Farrow didn't,
yeah, it was caused by fucking ego from that one dude.
Well, and so one thing, this is me completely breaking the
Fourth
veil
wall.
of video games, and like this, it's a video game. It needs to have this purpose. There's it's Things happen in this universe how they need to happen, and like things will
Yes.
go right when they need to go right, and things
Yes.
will go wrong when it helps to add more drama.
Absolutely.
And so like the world is ending and we can't do anything about it, but then like if they absolutely needed to, it's like a, oh, but now actually we can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's this new back door. It's the butthole virus. It's the
Yeah,
back door.
100%.
It's But then it does help to it helps to hype and like add drama, but then it gets to a point of where like oh yeah, of course it's gonna take
Right.
4 hours and the Zeniths are gonna find you, but then but it's Aloy and Beta, and so it's like I'm thinking of watching NCIS when it's the IT girl and it's McGee, and they're both on her keyboard on
Yeah.
one keyboard with four hands, and they're hacking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like, this is how this needs to happen. And they're both sitting here like,
Yeah, I always thought of it like as like, you're a fan and well versed in D&D. It kind of reminds me sometimes of like when the DM has created a fantastic story, and then your players just completely do something you had absolutely not planned whatsoever, and then they're like, how you gonna fix that one? You're like, oh yeah, I also forgot. There's a whole nother virus. And
oh
everybody's like,
no.
what? And you're like, yeah, fucking get over that, buddy.
Well,
Like,
and that is how, like, again, not to spoil the end of Forbidden West, but like you this is at the end of her Zero Dawn. It was like, this is a big problem, and it's going to be a big problem for us, and it's going to destroy Meridian. Destroying Meridian is, that is the end game for the bad guys. That's the big
right.
bad's goal. And then you beat them, and then in this game it introduces, actually, it's gonna end the world. It's not gonna just blow up Meridian. Now it's going to like ruin the entire ecosystem, and everything's gonna die again, except for the robots, I guess. And
Yeah,
like it's just gonna be a barren wasteland.
makes sense.
And then it ups it again. At the end of this game, you think that you save the world, although it's I don't want to give anything away, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let it go. But just play through, and then let me know what you think of the last
Oh,
mission,
I
and of
will,
like of
absolutely.
how it builds to a third game, and how
Sure.
it like you need to have a third game.
Absolutely.
And it's not need. I understand you could fanfic your way into writing an ending to this universe right at the end of the second
Right.
game.
But we all know those who are fans of a good story, fans of the game, fans of the genre, and truly like those who really put the time in to like learn the lore, sometimes just hoping on a whim that somebody will write a fan fiction about it isn't enough. Like,
Yeah,
you need to play it out, you need to enjoy it.
yeah. One last thing that I will say about
Sure.
Horizon, we can wrap this episode up. It's actually fairly good timing. Um, and they before you go, like, so you experience this in your game, is resolution with Beta. I didn't
Yeah.
like the there's a lot of attitude, and
Sure.
they did finally, like, oh, what is Beta missing? Like,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't have Rost, who actually, like, he wasn't the most uh like compassionate. He wasn't a feelings guy. Rost was, a big strong man that, like, just like fight like you can win, and like,
Well, he was an outcast,
yeah, he
but
won.
he could relate, and that's what was
And so he
that
was
he
an
could.
outcast by choice too.
Right, but because he chose it though, like he understood the repercussions, he understood the lifestyle, and he understood like, and I think that's something that in as a character, like as a character for that specific character's development, I think is something that the story does not give enough credit to, and not by the fault of the story, but by like, I think that the the meaning behind Ross and the decision that Ross made in the first like 10 minutes of the game holds so much more of an impact and a difficult decision than I think most players experience in the game do not grasp.
Yeah, I hear
And
what you're saying.
it is something where to see somebody who doesn't know what's going to happen, doesn't know how they're going to survive, doesn't know if tomorrow is even promised, but to know for a fact that the decision that I make today, I will stand by and I believe by, and I will do everything and anything to make sure that this child, understands that.
Yeah,
And that is one of the, I don't think a lot of writers fully grasp what development is needed for a character of that like specific growth, if that makes sense.
yeah, I see what you're
Like
saying.
Ross is a whole, even though Ross is very 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 briefly in the game, holds a bigger character spot in my like nerd brain than most characters from any other game.
On same. Well, and I think that the way, you know, a lot of games you have your he's the father figure.
Of
He is
course.
your trainer,
Right.
he's your
He's your
splinter, he's
mentor.
your Yoda,
Yeah.
he's yeah. And but they uh right in the beginning of the game when he decided not like right in the beginning, but when you're doing the proving and he says like, I'm an outcast. I can't even contact you, like you'll get in trouble. And then Aloy is going to make that her like her wish. She's granted a boon or whatever. And right then I'm thinking, okay, we're not going to see Rost for a while, but then he's going to come back and they're going to
Yeah.
use him for more drama. Honestly, he had a bigger impact saving you, but he died.
Yeah.
And there is I forget where this comes from, and I've heard somebody say this before, but like the greatest thing a man can do is die. But like in this case, it did make his impact so much more. And like even in the second game, like I played it and I tried to even like Aloy costume, like I would change as you get like new outfits from
Sure.
doing side quests, I would change to those. The whole time I had the Death Seeker face paint, and that's Rost's.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Rost's face
Yeah.
paint with the like it basically looks like a kind of like a hand.
Mm-hmm.
uh yeah, a huge, part of Aloy, and I think Aloy does a good job explaining to Beta uh how it helped her and
Of course.
how, that's how she is looking to overcome, and Beta is just like we're not going to do it, like it's she's lacking hope, and it's
Yeah.
not even like a hope, it's just a perseverance
Yeah.
even with a lack, even through a lack of hope.
Yeah, I think one of my you kind of triggered a thought there, which was Ross death for Aloy. I think what when you were saying like it's that death made his presence so much more impactful. I think that there are games where you have like Gears of War, right? I don't know if you played Gears of War. I think it's the
I,
second
I think
game or
I've played
something, but
four of them or five
yeah,
of them.
there's
I'm behind
5 or 6 or something like that.
I don't think I played the last one. The
Well,
last few weren't great.
in
Loved the
this,
first three.
yeah, well, in the second one, I think, yeah, second one, they're in this like dire situation. It's a huge horde of enemies, wherever, and they don't know if they're going to be able to get out and everything. And Dom goes and takes the vehicle, dips out, and then as
Oh,
he's running back, he's like, yeah, I don't remember exactly what he says. It was basically like, fuck you, I'm awesome, or something like that. And
That's
then
it.
explode.
Last
Yeah.
words on his gravestone too. Fuck you, I'm awesome.
But he explodes and like, and it hits you like hard. But it was a sacrificial moment.
It was.
I think in comparison, the death of like Dom and the death of Rost, very equal and yet so far apart, for the fact that Dom sacrificed himself for the greater good.
Yeah.
Rost sacrificed himself to show like Aloy like that, like this was my purpose. Like like
Survive.
this is my
You need to
gift.
go
Yeah,
on.
like my last gift to you is literally my last couple of breaths.
Yeah.
Like this is your opportunity. The world sucks. There
Make it
I have
better.
I have trained you to survive probably better than anyone else out here. And the world can be better. And to show you this, like I am going to I'm taking that opportunity of death, that like, the Reaper is standing at your back door and is ready to take Aloy, and Ross steps in and goes, nope. Like
Nope.
this is my gift to
I
you, is
volunteer
that
as tribute.
you, yeah, 100%. And that's, how did Ross not win fucking best character of the millennium?
Best supporting character. I mean, he's the ultimate support guy, you know.
It's incredible. I mean, there's has to be like there was as we were talking about this earlier, that they the game took an insane amount of um awards, and let's see. I mean, it had an average score of, on PS5, 88 out of 100. It was at 8.5, 9.25 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I mean, and you think about it, like games these days, I mean, unless you're like the anomaly, like Skull and Crossbones, where you just self-proclaim yourself as the world's first quadruple A game and then try to sell it for $1.5 billion.
Skull and
Like,
Crossbones. I don't even.
oh, don't worry about it. You're not missing.
Okay.
It's the listeners of the show know I have a huge issue with this game. It was average. Here we go. Get ready.
Hit me.
Okay. Back in 2012, a company created a teaser trailer on the concept of a game called Skull and Bones, or Skull and Crossbones, or something like that, right? I think it's just called Skull and Bones. But this was supposed to be everything that we loved about Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Okay, imagine that you are on like the safe haven island of pirates, right? But you are just the lowest of low. Like you have no land to you barely own your own name. All right, you get a job as basically the grunt on a ship.
Ship's boy.
You work your way all the way to like pirate king, and it's, ship battles, land battles, invading other people's ships, like everything we loved about Black Flag. Okay, this was in development for like, I don't know, fucking 18 years, 15 years, something like that, right? Last year, or at the beginning of this year, 2024 or whatever, the game finally released. 15 years later. Okay.
Wow, that's a lot of development.
Yeah, except the game is, you play as a ship. You never get off your ship except for maybe some bullshit or whatever. It's not anything important. You collect material by just boating yourself close to an island, and then, kind of it plays like a fucking mobile game.
I just thought of like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
mobile game, and when it's building something, you just hear like
It's
someone hammering a piece of wood. Like
it's the worst. It's
it's
the
the
worst.
sound of repairing a hole in your ship while playing
1,000%,
uh
bro.
Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves. Ooh, I'm in focus now. I'm the man. I'm the captain now, Josh.
I'm the captain now. Yeah, so this was the game. For those
Skull and
listening,
Bones.
yeah, for those listening, just Google Skull and Bones. Is the It had so much hype. Like this was what we all got to see right here, which is those listening. It's this massive pirate ship. It's all decked out, skulls and skeletons all over the place. Three pirates standing in the front, and it was like someone shows you this game and goes, "What do you think?" Like this is where it's at, right?
That picture looks cool.
It's amazing,
It's a
and
cool concept
yeah,
photo.
and then this was the this is where you started, and then you were to advance your way all the way to Pirate King and stuff.
I've seen this mobile game ad.
Exactly,
Level
yeah.
1.
And yet, the game itself then plays like absolute dog dookies, because I think that one's even more of a concept thing. Um, the game itself ends up being so shit that they had huge amounts of refunds, but they also had um, what do you call the pre-orders. They did a bunch of people had this game pre-ordered like big time, right?
Yeah.
And then they showcased it. They were like, "Here's the gameplay." Like they finally released the gameplay trailer,
And then people
and
just went and
fucking
pulled their
80%
pre-orders.
of the people were like, "The fuck is this?" and just pulled it. And they were like, "Nope, no." And they are the world's first and only
Quadruple A game.
quadruple A game. This game sold for like, I don't know, $80.
Blech.
Dude, it's stupid. Like so bad. And
Pass.
it is still to this day my like I'm so unbelievably disappointed with this game, especially because I had like fucking 10 years of just
Hype.
hype.
Ugh. That's the worst.
Ugh.
Over promising and not delivering at
And
all.
underdeveloped delivering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an underdeveloped game.
Well, to wrap things up with Forbidden West, I do have a couple questions for you.
Oh, before you said something about one last thing I want to bring up before you go the questions.
Go for it.
I thought Forbidden West, you said it didn't lure you into the big fights like with the Thunderjaws. For me, Forbidden West did that better, and they had more variety. You had your Thunderjaws,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also had your Thunderjaws and your Stormbirds.
Yeah.
Then you had the Tremor Tusks, which is a big mammoth robot.
Yeah.
Loved those. The Dreadwings were fucking terrifying. The first time I encountered one, you encounter one in a mission. It's the first mission that you meet Alva. She's your Quen companion, and then there's another one in the map, and it's invisible, and like it almost the Slitherfang.
Mm-hmm.
They're also like they were a pain. That was a pain of a machine to fight. But the Dreadwings really like it startled me. There was one other one. It was that's the Tremor Tusk. There's one that looks like another dinosaur, something Spike. That one on the left.
Is that a big ass snapping turtle?
That is a big ass snapping
It's
turtle.
a big ass snapping turtle.
Yep. A shell snapper.
So there's the birds and the long necks, and then there was how to go.
That one. Thing. What's the Slaughter Spine?
Slaughter Spine. Yeah.
It makes me think of a Spinosaurus. But that was by the time you find your first Slaughter Spine, I at least had the weapons to really like deal with him.
Well, and I think that was my point, is that like I in the first in Zero Dawn, I definitely felt like I didn't go into many fights well enough prepared. Yeah, and so like I felt like a lot of the fights were like heavily they were more challenging, because there was like what's the one they're like these like panther looking things that kind of like blip in and out of like invisibility.
Stalkers.
Yeah, like fighting those things, like you needed a strategy.
Yeah.
When it came to Forbidden West, yes, there was definitely a challenge. Yeah, there was definitely like I died a bunch. But when it came to the like in Zero Dawn, I feel like sometimes you would run into an area and then something would just happen, and you're like, fucking nope, and then
Yeah,
turn around and
gotta
run.
gotta leave.
In Forbidden West, there was not a single time where I wasn't just like, let's fucking do this.
Oh,
Like,
see,
I'm ready.
I had a handful of situations where I like, I was hurting,
I mean, I
and it
definitely died, but there was no point where I was like, oh, I can't do this one for sure. I was like, let's fucking, I'm going to go for it.
and that could be from playing experience of just the first game,
Maybe.
and I don't know, but it. I love the feeling of a good video game. I'm so
Absolutely.
excited to see. Like, I want to watch you beat the last mission and play through it, just because I can't experience it again for the first time. I got to experience it again and like remember, and it was still good, but man, nothing like the first
No,
time.
and that's what I'm super excited. I'm ready to jump in. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I got
Hey,
literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep last night.
it's a good time. Just be like, all right, and now it's nap time.
Yeah.
Take a little nap.
Power nap.
You got 30 seconds, then we're starting the next
Oh my
episode.
god. It was but yeah, dude, Forbidden West, it's fantastic. So my last couple questions to you. For starters, favorite enemy in the game.
Oh, so I'm gonna go with my favorite enemy that becomes a mount,
Okay.
and I guess it just makes it my favorite mount, and it's the Claw Strider. It's fucking
Yeah,
Velociraptor.
yeah,
I
right.
loved it. An acid Claw Strider for
Yeah.
sure. Favorite enemy. The Dreadwing instilled a sense of fear in me because it had the invisibility of a
Right.
stalker and the size and firepower of a Stormbird. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with that as my
Yeah.
favorite enemy.
I like it.
An honorable mention to the Clamberjaw, which is a
Yeah.
monkey enemy.
Nice.
They were kind of annoying,
Um
but that's the sign of a good enemy.
where yeah. Out of all of the environments, areas, places that they've custom made on the maps, sceneries, maybe cutscenes to, from the very beginning of the game to the very end of the game, where was your favorite to just like explore and enjoy?
Uh, Honestly, it was a big section of the map. The something rise of the Sentinels or the stand of the Sentinels.
Okay.
It's where like it's supposed to mimic the redwood forest out in like
Oh,
western
right.
US. And then also the Bulwark, which
Mm-hmm.
is in the northern part where it's really snowy. You can see El Capitan, which is a mountain that exists in Yosemite National Park.
Oh, okay.
And so like you see that in the game, and it does a good job at showing scale because El Capitan's like 3,000 feet tall
Sure.
from base to top, and like the Bulwark was another like adjacent mountain that they made that fort out of, and so those two places were my favorite. It does seem, and like I understand it's a video game, it seems very inhospitable in the snowy area, and then also enemy wise in the where it's supposed to look like the the western big redwood forests, high enemy traffic area.
Sure.
That's where I'd run into trouble and be like, "Damn, it's beautiful, but I gotta run." So yeah.
I
What
like
about
that.
you?
That was a good answer. Because there was some areas that I couldn't remember like to be able to say, because like the Redwood Forest one was definitely
They
very
they did great with having another game that had all the climates. And
yes,
then there's like you got your desert zone, which is just Vegas,
yeah.
and I
Okay,
loved
I was yeah.
I didn't get all of the embers, the
Mm-hmm.
ornament things that like let you change the Vegas theme, but I
Right.
did get a bunch of them, and it looks cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of my favorite places was and probably one of my favorite like I don't remember if it was a main mission or a side quest, but it was how you get the breather
Yeah,
thing.
that's the main
Um,
mission. You're going to get Poseidon.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Loved
Well,
that one.
so getting yeah, basically turning all of Vegas back on was super super cool. And I remember like at the end of that mission and just like having everything light up, and I don't remember if there was like something like floating. I have a weird vague memory of like something floating through the sky. Maybe it was like a hologram of like a jellyfish or some shit. I don't remember.
Well, so it
But
was like aquatic themed. Like you
yeah,
were, and it was Stanley Chen. He was the character that they made. He was you find out through just random things that like
yeah,
your collectibles. Stanley Chen, you hear his like audio logs. Basically, he was down on his luck. He tried to create like not like a terraforming system or like a water reclaiming
Mm-hmm.
system, and he was going bankrupt, and like his last monies, however much it was, he went to Vegas and he put it on like a roulette
Yeah.
wheel, and it hit, and he won enough money to buy Las Vegas.
Damn.
That's like basically I maybe I skipped over a section, but that's basically what happens. And he
One thing led to
buys
another, and he
Las
bought Las
Vegas,
Vegas.
and like instead of shutting the whole thing down, he was like, I can't do it. I'm gonna put it on standby mode. It could last for thousands of years. I hope somebody finds this and like, man, brought me to tears.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Fantastic game. He was one of the Zeniths, but he died on their planet. I don't know if you remember, if you got to that, like I think that you find that out in a conversation with
I mean, if I did,
Tilda.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
My
Great
last
game.
question, my final question to you, is because I feel like with this podcast, there's always I always like to keep both sides of the field like completely, I guess talked about. So not only is this an incredible game, it's beautiful, it's well done, the story's incredible, it's an amazing game. If you had to choose something that you wish was different in the game or that they could have done better, what would you say?
I wish I could have been flying a little earlier.
That's like a thing in a lot of games. We all want to fly. Why are we gatekeeping that to the end of the fucking game?
Well, and it did make things a lot easier once you could fly.
It
You talked
definitely
about the
does.
tall necks.
Yeah.
I'm even playing through the second time. I went and sought out the tall necks.
Oh yeah, I did immediately.
Yeah.
Trying to open up the map, man.
Doing something differently. I wish at the end of the game you could see you could interact with Gaia more. And like I understand it's the end of the game, and I don't want to spoil like how things are left, but you as long as you don't die over and over again, you do like win the game.
So yours is like
that's how it works.
So yours is more of like the experience of the game.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to playing the game, like you don't have any issues with it.
Oh, I don't know. I can't really think of anything.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah,
that only just shows
they introduce. If there could be less elements and less like statuses for me, but like that's more of a just a. I'm bad at that shit, and I'm more of like I do a lot of damage, and I want to like protect myself and not take damage. That's how I play.
I'm cool with those types of situations only if there is a story reason to why they are the way they are.
Okay.
So the way that I mean by that is like if you go into an area and there is one of those weird antelope looking things, but they've got the big tanks of fire.
Oh,
and they breathe fire or whatever.
Pronghorns.
Yeah, and so if I go up and I'm starting to get attacked by this thing, right? The background that I would have had to understand was that this thing is here to like clear out areas. It is to burn shit down. It is to like break things down. It is to turn it to ashes so that we can have new growth and new whatevers and stuff. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
What I shouldn't have is way up at the tippy top of a mountain, some bird filled with fucking acid who's just spitting on me all the time. I'm like, what was your purpose, buddy?
So that's kind of explained. Like they have an explainer for that, and it's Hephaestus who was following the orders of Hades, or like it's trying to destroy the world.
Yeah,
it's trying to kill humanity, and now it's doing it with like bigger, badder machines.
Yeah.
And initially, the machines had a purpose, and now their purpose, and literally in Forbidden West, they introduced Apex machines.
Yes.
And it's like a hunter killer. They're there to kill you.
They're awesome.
But it's
But that's what I'm saying.
That.
No, I'm saying I don't have a problem with it.
For me, it was
that was
like
what I liked. That it as long as it has a background, I won't ever have a problem with the like element stuff.
Yeah. Oh, so, this
like,
is a giant invisible bat. What did this do?
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm getting attacked by something that's like where was the
why did you need a T-Rex?
Right. So if your enemy is turning invisible all the time, but they were not designed to do stealthy shit,
What's the
Why?
point? Yeah.
Why am I getting attacked by an invisible thing?
And is it a pollinator? Like bats are, they kill insects. This thing's the size of a fucking house.
Yeah,
I'm at status
it's
effects
killing a
like
lot of
it's like
insects.
plasma and acid and fire and
Yeah,
purge water and then shock and then there's adhesive and then there's frost.
yeah.
And so, I understand you scan your enemy, you find your weaknesses, but then like it is a good thing they gave you a bigger weapon wheel because they gave you more statuses
Yeah.
to deal with. So
I would love to have seen more like not, and it's not even like a real issue. It's more of just me like picking something to complain about. I think like to introduce the ability to have more of a creativity when it comes to doing things, like because in the Zero Dawn Forbidden West game duo, your fighting tactics rely on doing one thing and then doing another thing and then doing another thing. Whereas, like, I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a situation where maybe you use like, I don't know, some kind of arrow that's got like a piercing thing or whatever, and you like nick like a tank or something, and that tank is now leaking like, I don't know, water or something, or like some kind of liquid, but then you use like a shock arrow and it like conducts with the water or whatever, or like you're fighting one of those fucking crocodile things, but they're in water, so like,
you just
like,
freeze the water.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
would love to see some kind of like to introduce the creativity, to like the what things can I combine to do different things, and how would it affect different areas and kind of shit, and like,
Combining statuses is a good idea, and that is a part of the game. Is when you inflict one status effect. If you inflict another one, it takes the first one away.
right,
Like imagine if you have like purge water, you become soaked, and so you're
yeah,
just like you're drenched. It's called drenched as your status, and so then if you're drenched and you get hit with a shock arrow, why don't you just die?
right, and that's kind of the thing that I gave a lot of praise to Baldur's Gate 3, was that there people, like, I mean, the D&D communities are already insane when it comes to making builds and stuff. But Baldur's Gate it wasn't flat out told to you, but you kind of figure these things out. You create water, it creates a puddle. If you make it rain on somebody, they're soaking wet, and then you use some kind of electric spell. Like, it doesn't just do damage, and then they're also
Wet.
yeah, it's like now it does like way more damage
Four
because
times
they're
the damage.
fucking, it's a
Yeah.
conductor, so it's, I would love to have seen that element kind of put into the game, but that being said, without it, it's still 1,000% a phenomenal game. It truly
Absolutely.
is, and I'm so excited. Honestly, the plan was to start Forbidden West last weekend on stream, but it was brought to my attention that I'm struggling to finish games, and now it's been eating at me, and I'm like, okay, we have to finish the games we started, and then we're gonna start our new game. So right
It's a
now
good idea.
we're finishing Baldur's Gate 3, but I've originally it was allowing all of chat to like make my decisions, but that was taking so long, and now I'm just going, like, we've played half of the game that way, so now I'm just going to show the everyone who wants to watch why Baldur's Gate 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
And you make the decisions.
I'm blasting through this game. I've got things where, like, I don't think the last like two or three like fights that we've had, I don't think we've gone past the second like initiative round. Like,
Oh, they're just done.
I'm insanely like strong.
OP.
They're built to feed off of each other, and it's
Hell yeah.
I'm so freaking good at
That's
it.
man.
But
We went an hour and 23. This every episode
whatever.
we have is just it's fine. I don't even
It's
care.
fantastic. That's what it's about, though.
I got one more in me after this.
Yeah?
For sure.
Well, you're gonna have to save it for our Christmas episode.
Ooh.
So that being said, thank you so much, Tom, for being here.
It's a joy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks. Jeez. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and listening to us yap about shit. If you want to get in contact with us, you got amazing questions, you want to talk about things, or information that we got wrong today, please let us know down in the comments. If you found us on YouTube and you're watching this, thank you. If you're just listening to this, whether it be podcast, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, I believe there is a way to let us know what you think. It would be super, super appreciated for me personally and for the show and everything that we do. If you would leave a review or I guess that they're both reviews, huh? Like a star review and a
Yeah, a
worded
rating and
review. Yeah,
review.
there you go.
Rate and
Rating and
review.
review.
Subscribe for
Um,
blah 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 blah.
yeah, yeah, do that too. But it really does help the algorithm and kind of kicks us out to others who really want to hear our hands down probably the best content out there
Oh
on the
yeah,
planet.
the
This is
best opinions
I
in
haven't
the world.
yeah I haven't seen one thing out there that's more entertaining than us just yabbering about shit. But I really do appreciate everything that all of you have done for me and for the show and for our streams. Um, if you want to find me and my things everywhere and anywhere, the link will be down in the description below. Also, if you are in the PA state of other
US.
50 of them, and you make yourself over to the Moonstone Manor, please do so. It is absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's an amazing place to bring your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mistress, your esteemed secret
Your friend.
lover. Yeah, your friend
Family members
of benefits.
Yeah, you can come and pay us a visit, stay the night. We're updating our prices. We're trying to be a little more competitive, so
Nice.
look for some Black Friday deals. I'm joking, it's gonna be forever.
We skyrocket them and then we say that they're at a discount.
Yeah, it's that's how that works now. Yeah, shout out to Moonstone Manor. Shout out to Pocketbooks in Lancaster. I'm wearing their hoodie today. Also, shout out to Bookshelf Shenanigans. It's a new bookstore in Elizabethtown. We checked it out. Looks cool.
Hell yeah.
Love a good bookstore.
Hell yeah. Well, if you're ever around in Lidditz, you got to also check out Aaron's bookstore. Little small bookshop, but we're
Aaron's
big,
bookstore.
big fans. I think my wife's in there maybe like once a week, probably at least. But it truly is fantastic. Go support your small businesses. Go support the mom and shop, mom and shop
pops.
Yeah. Go. So as always, go check us out. The links are in the description below. Do yourself a favor. Go outside. Look up at the sky. Feel the sun in your face. Hug a tree. High five a squirrel. And we'll see Tom again on the Christmas episode.
Woo!
We'll catch you later.
Bye.